Good morning, dear students. I, Professor Basavaraj Koruche, welcome you all for today's lecture of personality development and life skills. In previous class, we have seen the various manners and etiquettes to be followed when we enter someone's office, or when someone is visiting our office, or when someone is coming to meet us. At that point of time, some basic manners and etiquettes what we are supposed to follow were being discussed. After that, we also saw some important tips while talking to someone. When we are talking to our seniors, at that point of time, we should follow certain things. That is, we should say not chew pan or tobacco or chewing gum. We should not put our hands in pocket. Along with that, do not keep your hands on waist, and do not lean on one leg or on wall, etc. The body posture should be in a straight erect position, attention position. Your hands should be in a normal position. And most important thing, the voice what we are speaking, it should be polite, and a proper way of speaking should be followed by us. And when we are speaking with our seniors or elder to us, at that point of time we should respect them, we should wish them, and then begin with the interaction. In case if the person is junior, then also politely we should start the interaction. So these are the tips while following our basic talks or basic interactions in our day-to-day life. After that, now we have to see how we are supposed to introduce to a person. That is, when we are meeting a new person, we will be speaking or we will be introducing, whether we are meeting our junior, at that point of time, how we should introduce ourselves. When we are interacting with our seniors, at that point of time, how we are supposed to interact. Then, when we are interacting with a woman, how we are supposed to interact. All these manners matter a lot. So, therefore, here, when we are introducing to someone, or many times we have to introduce to our clients as well, when we go for business meetings and all, at that point of time, the client will be new and we have to introduce ourselves and then begin with the interaction. At that point of time, in business hierarchy, the client is the king. Therefore, whenever we meet them, even though we are the boss of the business, we should introduce to them in a polite way. While addressing seniors, you should always start out by calling them Mr., Mrs. or Sir. It is up to them to tell you when you should call them by their first name. Till then, we should respect them and call them Sir. If the person is having some special degrees like doctorate and all, at that point of time we need to call doctor, or if by calling them as a Sir. So these are the things how we should start. We should wish them, we should politely start the interaction. Therefore, while interacting with the clients, we should be introducing ourselves first, and then when we are interacting with our juniors, at that point of time, or with women, we should first introduce ourselves, then we should ask about them. When we want to know their name, at that point of time, may I know your good name? This is how we need to ask. And wishing, this is the most important thing, the last thing in these tips, that is wishing. You should wish a person as per the time of the day. Whenever we are wishing them, we should follow the time sense, and as per that time sense, we should wish them. Many times, students get confused when to wish good morning, when to wish good afternoon, when to wish good evening, and all. So, there are certain basic rules for this also. That is, when we are from morning, after getting up till afternoon 12 o'clock, it should be good morning. That is, before 12 it should be good morning, and after 12 noon we need to wish as good afternoon or good noon. In between 12 we need to wish as good noon. After 12, that is 12 to 4 p.m, we should wish them as good afternoon. In between 4 p.m. to 10 p.m, we need to wish good evening, and after 10 p.m, we can wish them good night. One thing I would like to share here: when we were students, we had been for interview at ICICI Prudentials. At that point of time, we had one day selection process, and morning at 10 o'clock they had called us. After that, they took aptitude test, and the results of this aptitude test were out by afternoon 2 o'clock, and after that they gave us a break, and then they called us again at evening 6 o'clock for interviews, and the interviews lasted till 10:30. And one of my friend, his number was at around 9:30, and while entering the cabin, he entered, knocked the door, entered the cabin, and then he wished them as good night, sir. So they also said good night, you can go now. Without taking interview, they sent him, because he didn't have the wishing sense when to wish good night, when to wish good afternoon or good evening. He was supposed to knock the door, and while entering he should wish them good evening, sir. And then while leaving the interview or after finishing the interview, when he was supposed to go, at that point of time, thank you sir, good night, he would have wished. But here he mixed up and got confused. So these are the things which we should remember while greeting or wishing. In India, many times we follow the trend as namaste. So we can wish or we can greet by saying namaste as well, or namaskara, whatever you say. So this is an Indian tradition of greeting or wishing. You all can follow that greeting technique also. So these are some of the things in manners and etiquettes. Along with that, we have other manners and etiquettes, like when we are, say, for our dinner, or when we are having other meetings. So there also the manners and etiquettes play a very important role. So these things we should follow in a proper way, or we should follow these social etiquettes, it may be, whenever we are individually or whenever we are in a society. There the norms what we follow, they come under social etiquettes. Then also bathroom etiquettes are there, wherein an individual needs to follow while using public bathroom or office washroom or restroom. Whenever we are using, those things also we need to follow in a proper way, we need to use. Then corporate etiquettes, at that point of time, corporate etiquettes means when individual behaves with his teammates or at his workplace, there how he or she behaves, all these things are essential. Then wedding etiquettes, when we are attending any event like wedding and all, at that point of time, how we behave there, what set of things we follow there. Then meeting etiquettes, how we behave in meetings, how we introduce, what we are supposed to do, what we should not do, all these things come under meeting etiquette. Then telephone etiquette, it is very much essential when we are interacting with our clients or our business partners or customers or the teammates on telephone. At that point of time, the way we speak, how we put across the words, all these things are very much important in telephone etiquette. Then eating etiquettes also are very much essential when we are having a business dinner and all. At that point of time, we should not disturb the decorum of the area. Without disturbing the decorum, we need to follow them in a proper way. After that, whenever we are communicating, it may be through email or it may be through letter. At that point of time, those etiquettes are also very much important, like email etiquettes, letter etiquettes. All these things play a very important role. So these are the types of etiquettes what we are supposed to follow in our social, corporate or personal life, without which we cannot be a successful person. Therefore, to follow these simple etiquettes, we need to have our presence of mind, or we should be positive enough to think and behave accordingly. So with this, we shall stop here in this video. If you have any sort of doubts, questions, queries, you can feel free to contact me at any point of time. Thank you. Good day.